The battle group is the basic tactical maneuver unit of a formation and is normally under command of a brigade. Its composition will vary according to the assigned tasks, resources available, ground, and the threat. The battle group is built upon an infantry battalion or an armored regiment, each with at least a squadron or a company of the other arm, and normally a medium battery in direct support. Additional elements could include division or brigade anti-armor resources, a field or armored engineer troop, and a man-portable missile section. Administrative, signal, and aviation elements may also be attached to meet a specific requirement. For detailed information, it is recommended that the viewer consult appropriate productions on the Armored Regiment and the Mechanized Infantry Battalion. The Battle Group F Echelon consists of the companies, squadrons, combat teams, and other elements which fight the immediate battle. A combat team is a grouping which normally consists of a mechanized rifle company and a tank squadron, supported by other combat and combat support elements as required. Administrative echelon groupings include company, squadron, or combined combat team A1 echelons operating under command of their respective subunits, one or two tactical bounds behind the fighting elements, and the rearward located battle group A2 echelon functioning under battle group or brigade command. The A2 echelon consists of the integral transport to move combat supplies and the maintenance resources for repair and recovery of vehicle and equipment casualties. It has a command post to control and coordinate all aspects of unit administration. Individual Unit B echelons remain within the brigade administrative area. The battle group headquarters consists of a small command post and nearby support elements. The command post has three main components. There is an operations center from which the operations officer controls and monitors the battle. A fire support coordination center, which is either the mortar platoon CP in an infantry battle group or the battery commander's vehicle in an armored battle group, and the intelligence center, manned by the intelligence officer and his staff. The headquarters also includes the required signal and protection elements. Since it has no administration capability, it relies on the A2 echelon for support. The unit medical station may be located with the headquarters or at a nearby site. Headquarters locations are chosen to offer good communications, accessibility to vehicles, a degree of concealment, and protection from attack. The battle group commander usually fights his organization well forward from his tactical command post. He would normally be accompanied by his supporting artillery and engineer commanders. His TAC CP incorporates all the required communications equipment needed to direct operations and interlink with his operations center.
Things are going reasonably well. We're taking some casualties. But I think in a couple of hours we should be ready to go over the offensive.
Hey, sir.
When not actively engaged, he commands from his deployed main headquarters, where he is available to his staff and subordinate commanders. Any move of the headquarters is conducted as a drill, with vehicles moving in packets, employing a standard order of march for each functional group. The continuous operation of all functions is essential during a move and is accomplished by continuing control on the move or by a step-up procedure. Once the step-up vehicle is established in the new location, control of the radio nets is passed and regrouping of the headquarters proceeds without delay. Information is quickly handed over to the arriving staff and the headquarters returns to its normal operational mode. Combat net radio is the primary means of communication throughout the battle group. Separate nets will normally be established for command, fire control, and administration, with the unit signals officer tying in the attached elements to the appropriate communication structure. Companies and squadrons direct their own subunit nets. Control of the battle group is implicit in the terminology associated with various types of operations. The battle group moves astride an axis, which follows a route or convenient terrain feature. Harbors permit dispersal and concealment and are mainly used for rest, maintenance, and replenishment. Waiting areas which offer concealment are selected along a route or axis and are used for the control of movement. Boundaries establish areas of responsibility. Junction points are used for direct liaison, if required, and reference points assist in locating subunits on the ground. Phase lines are easily recognizable terrain features used to control progress and coordinate movement. Report lines are designated terrain features at which troops must report to their command echelon. Bounds are tactical features used for control purposes. A hide is a location occupied by troops prior to their moving to a battle position, which is a defensive area occupied by a combat team or a rifle company. When an attached company or squadron is operating with the battle group, its commander stays with and fights his organization. A liaison officer may be sent to battle group headquarters. In other instances, the attached subunit commander could move in close proximity to the battle group commander. Tanks, when working with infantry, perform the immediate destruction or neutralization of weapons, bunkers, and enemy armored vehicles. In an attack, precede, accompany, or shoot the infantry onto the objective and deploy forward during consolidation. And, in the defense, provide direct fire support or function as a mobile reserve. When working with armor, the infantry supports the tanks by complementing tank guns with long-range anti-armor missile fire, destroying enemy short and medium-range anti-armor weapons, completing the destruction of enemy automatic weapons temporarily silenced by armor, providing a firm base for the maneuver of the tank force, and providing protection in periods of reduced visibility and when in close country or towns. Infantry battle groups have integral combat support platoons. The reconnaissance platoon with both vehicle and dismounted surveillance capability and its sniper section. The anti-armor platoon, providing dedicated anti-tank fire. The Assault Pioneer Platoon, providing some combat engineering capability. And the Mortar Platoon, with its dedicated indirect fire resources. Armor battle groups have their own reconnaissance troop and an assault troop to provide some integral dismounted capability. The close support medium battery normally allocated in direct support establishes the FSCC as part of the command post. This allows intimate liaison between operations and fire support. The battery commander operates from here, or he may deploy with the battle group commander's tactical CP. The BC provides technical advice, coordinates and implements the battle group fire plan, including the integration of all indirect and direct fire resources, plus any available tactical air sorties. His 4 forward observation parties, with their vehicles and communications, are deployed with designated subunits. Individually, the FOOs assist with the provision of artillery advice, coordination of the artillery aspects of subunit fire plans, and the controlling of indirect fire and possibly tactical air sorties.
Alpha Victor, this is Alpha Zero, nothing heard out. Hotel Foxtrot, this is Alpha Zero.
Artillery radio nets are valuable sources of accurate, concise, and timely battlefield information, as both the BC and the FOO parties have radios on the appropriate levels of artillery and battle group nets, and they are an immediately available alternate means of passing orders should the battle group command net be unable to operate. The FSCC radio nets normally include the Battle Group Command Net, Artillery Regimental and Battery Nets, the Mortar Platoon Net, and the Air Request Net operated by the Tactical Air Control Party. An engineer troop and armored engineer resources may be assigned to support the maneuver of a battle group. The engineer troop commander advises the battle group commander on engineer matters and normally coordinates both the engineer effort and work of the assault pioneer platoon. He can also deploy a reconnaissance detachment to provide specialist engineer information. The main tasks of these engineers involve breaching minefields, crossing of water and other terrain obstacles, destroying enemy fortifications, constructing minefields and anti-tank ditches, demolition of bridges and buildings, and assisting the digging in of key elements. The battle group assists the engineers by providing protection for their recce detachment and working parties, by allocating work groups to function under engineer direction, and by providing information on enemy activity that may affect engineer operations. The infantry economize on the use of engineer resources by relying on their assault pioneer platoon for minor engineer work such as digging in command posts, laying protective minefields, and erecting wire. The engineers, in addition to their task functions, establish an outstation on the battle group command net, provide advice on engineer capabilities, and pass on any acquired information which may be of interest. Armored engineer elements may be assigned to assist maneuver of the battle group by providing armored engineer vehicle and armored vehicle launched bridge teams with the necessary recce and command elements. An air defense section could be allocated to a battle group. They would best be employed for the point defense of a defile, a concentrated combat team position, an assembly area, or a hide. All of these attached elements generally receive technical support from their parent units and daily maintenance support in the form of ammunition, fuel, and rations through the battle group's replenishment channels. The battle group, with its combination of infantry, tank, and artillery entities, supported by engineer and air defense elements, provides the core of the brigade's combat structure. Its protective characteristics, coupled with a long-reaching, fast-moving, and hard-hitting capability, give it a key part in the offensive or defensive battle.